All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed our morning sessions so far. Uh, Sean was amazing. Troy, I learned so much from you, and Melanie, you hit so many spots. It was fantastic, and we have an exciting conversation coming up next. Sorry, presentation coming up next. This one is exciting for me as a Revit user. I always love learning something new. So I would like to introduce. Rina Shehe and Nauman Mysorewala. They are going to be presenting us with annotation crackers in my Revit soup. Rina is an Autodesk Expert Elite team member, a Revit certified professional, and a Revit and AutoCAD subject matter expert. As the architectural BIM manager at Fishbeck, she is responsible for creating and maintaining BIM standards, project support, and troubleshooting, sorry, training and onboarding and production of construction documents for a variety of entertainment, retail, and commercial projects. She has previously taught Revit in architecture at Kalamazoo Valley Community College, being a judge at Skills Canada U.S. State Architectural Drafting Competitions, and served on the Kent Career Technical Center Advisory Board. She champions tools for digital diversity and communicates her passion at venues like Autodesk University, and is also a fellow BIM hero and presenter at BIM Coordinator Summit. I have not presented there, but I am also part of that program. She is passionate about German Shepherd dog breeds and is currently possessed by her two pups, Renzo and Ragnar. Rina, you are fabulous. Also, that was a mouthful. Nauman, better known as Bimologist, is an Autodesk Expert Elite member as well. Has more than 25 years of experience in the Autodesk family of products, including AutoCAD, AutoCAD Architecture, Revit, and Autodesk Construction Cloud and Navisworks. He's a registered architect, Revit architecture, and AutoCAD certified professional and lead AP. Nauman is a top-rated speaker at Autodesk University and has presented numerous Autodesk Build Your IQ webinars for AutoCAD and Revit in collaboration with Autodesk. He has been an educator at University of Cincinnati and Mount St. Joseph's University, teaching design technology applications. A little bit about their presentation today. Let's talk about Revit Annotation Circus. We'll look at ways and means to create and fine-tune smart, semi-smart, and dumb Revit schedules, legends, and tags. Take a look at how to get comfortable with workarounds, to customize them, to effectively pull and report the project information that you need and display it on the sheet in a way that you want. We will discuss annotation types and tweaks, as well as off-the-wall tips. So Rina and Nauman, welcome, and everybody enjoy the presentation.
And thank you, Christina, for the kind introduction. Let's see if I can live up to it, and I know Nauman will. So everybody, are you ready for some hot, spicy, tasty soup that Nauman and I have been kicking up? We are going to talk about annotation crackers in my Revit soup. This is all that you need to know about us, is that how superb we are. Even the crackers in the soup are dumbfounded.
Yeah, right.
We are, trust me. Okay, these are the objectives that you read when you signed up for our session. So not going to dwell on those very long. But here's an overriding objective that you need to keep in mind. You know, you can't even begin to imagine how crucial annotations are to the communication power of the documents and to the credibility of your organization. You know, contractors do point and laugh. These are legal documents. They reflect the image of the firm. You need to have rock solid, consistent graphic standards to make them successful. And most importantly, communication is key. So now let's take a look at the big Revit menagerie. Revisions to multiple sheets, a capability that emerged with Revit 2023. You can control click to select multiple sheets. You can assign the desired revisions to the sheets. And you know what? Here are some more players in the field. You've got D02 one, which gives the ability to add revisions to multiple sheets. And you have my old friend PyRevit. Everybody remember my love affair with PyRevit? Still love it. Never going to fall out of love with it. And so PyRevit will also help to compile a revised sheet set for you. Now, color fill legends are not just for decorations alone. You can create a custom shared parameter and associate it with a color fill legend to control and assign the legend to specific elements. So let's take a look at how this is. We have our shared parameters over here. They can be text-based, they can be yes, no. They need to be loaded into your project, and they need to be associated to, in our case, the rooms category. It could be spaces or areas, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Now, once we've got that done, we go in and we create a whole new color scheme with the we create a whole new color scheme with the parameter assigned to it. Now take a look. Our parameter has emerged right at the bottom of the properties. Depending upon whether the parameter has been checked or not checked, you are able to determine how it is that the rooms have been filled. One of my favorite capabilities that emerged with Revit 2020 was the path of travel line work. Now, this is a neat tool. You click on point A, you click on point B. Revit looks at the obstacles in the way, and it calculates a really nice shortest path of travel. Now, what if you have to document something else like common path of travel in addition to path of travel? In that case, what we do is we create a whole new line style for common path of travel. When we have created our path of travel, we can select it and control its instance parameters to switch over to common path of travel. Now, that's a really nice and elegant solution, which can be enhanced by the tag. You could use a default tag. It's just there. It's horizontal. It's a box. It connects with a leader, or you can tweak it. You can edit the tag family, click on rotate with component, and you can move the line work over the way that I have it over here. For some reason, that works really nicely, and that gives us this so much better, so much more elegant. And here's the sad ending to the story. We still cannot edit the appearance of waypoints. Autodesk, please give this capability to us. Here's some more customization. Now, this is a super powered tag. It not only does it document the length of travel, but it also states the code mandate for maximum travel distance. How do we do this? We go ahead and of course, we do have to edit the family, but we start with the project where we have another shared parameter. In this case, it's called max travel distance. And this is now added to the project, and it is associated with path of travel lines. That's step one. Step two, we open the family. And in the family, we create a multi-line label. And I call it multi-line because it has multiple parameters in it, and those parameters are separated by a break. Other interesting things, you can add in a suffix or a prefix to the value. That means less typing for you. And also, you want to make sure that the label is formatted in this fashion, just so that it stays visible and it stays readable. Once that is done and you place the tag, you get this lovely two-line tag. It's aligned to the path of travel line, and you can type to edit the max travel distance. Here's a little surprise for Pikealizer. Pikealizer is one of PyRevit's many, many extensions. Got to give them credit for that. And you know what? You can actually count your annotations. I don't know how helpful it is, but it's definitely amusing. There was a time when I was in a project where we had to create a bunch of interior elevations, which were cropped, and the crop box was set to a particular line weight. That was a pain. We had to set all of those crop box line weights individually. Now PyRevit allows us to set a consistent crop box line weight. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you, PyRevit. View titles. Here we have got a view title family, our plan view title with north. And we have a global parameter, which allows us to control the angle value of this. How can we associate these two? How can we make them talk to each other? How can we make them love each other? So our global parameter is angle-based, and we are going to associate it with our plan view title. In order to do that, in the project browser, I right-click, I go into type properties. Once I'm in there, I can click on this cute little button over here, and the cute little button will bring up the global parameter to associate. Once that is done, guess what I get? I get this awesome view title with a nested north arrow. If you want to know how to make the north arrow do whatever it is I have doing it, refer to Alfredo Medina's blog post on creating a rotatable north arrow. That's where I started from. Now, with this, Nauman, are you going to talk about annotation?
Yeah, definitely. There are some more. Let's jump through it right away. Would you mind giving me control, please?
You got it.
Thank you. So I know that fire ratings are important, and we do that all the time for architects. And the problem always is that we have to have multiple types to use the fire rating parameter. So sometimes we'll just use another parameter, custom shared parameter for it. Or you can also trick Revit into making the door parameter actually the fire rating parameter a instance parameter, a tip from Philip Chan and then others too. If you look at that, what you do is basically open up the door family and you assign some fire rating to it. This is the process. Sorry, I apologize. So when you have a door family, you notice that the fire rating is type-based. Unfortunately, we can't switch it just like that. It's not editable. However, if you switch it to a generic model temporarily, and then go back into the parameters, and now you can edit it and make it an instance-based. Once that is done, you will switch it back to the doors. And let's see. Come on, man. Let's go. And then load it back into your project. And now you can see that you have the door as an instance parameter. You will have to do this for every door in the project, unfortunately.
For every door family, that is.
For every door family, yes, not type. So another tip, I mean, this is just to kind of show another instance just to give it how to use global parameters. You can just type in the values, but you can also do is associate it with a global parameter, and then you can make it easily. And the nice thing about this is the name of that parameter is the value is 60. So you can have a more readable value like 60 minutes and have the value set to 60 or 45 that shows up on your schedule itself. So I always have this question all the time because we work with a lot of consultants and stuff. Why can't I add this number, or I can't edit this parameter? Well, there is a shared parameter. The problem happens is you need to associate that shared parameter and make sure that the shared parameter also exists in your project. If you don't, you can click all day on that question mark and nothing will
do anything.
So just in case you don't have the shared parameter itself, just export it out from the family and then import it into the project. So my little pet, who's my little pet? Oh,
that's you.
Oh, there are many little pets that I have.
Cat is your special pet.
Align text, yes. I know that finally, Autodesk kind of decided to finally give us the align and distribute contextual ribbon panel. Well, it only works on annotations. It does not work on elements. However, it works on tags 25 as well, and it doesn't work in the prior version. But even with that, I still have, I love the other tool that I have been using, BIM 42 Align. Mm-hmm. That puppy will work on most all elements like ducts, whatever it is, air handlers, casework, whatever it is, it'll work on those. And plus, of course, on the annotations. And this is available 24 and below, and 25 too, you can make it run. Revit Plus as an extension also has similar features associated with it in case you are not on 25. Now, fill region, there are some awesome tools with fill region in Revit. If you want to quickly create a list of your fill patterns with some examples and stuff for your template, and stuff, you can easily use that. You can also convert your fill patterns into fill region types as well. EF2, if you install.
What's really nice is that the swatches that come up there, they all have their own little label. So you can put together a visual library for the user to use.
Yeah, you can change the font and everything. It's customizable.
It's pretty sweet.
the fill region, I mean, like the fill pattern tool within Revit, make your pattern is great. Also, there are some online versions available too, patty cake and stuff. But also the EF tools extensions. So Revit has a lot of extensions. If you have not explored it, go into the settings and click on extensions, and you can enable, disable a bunch of extensions. But EF tool has a lot of items where you can change the line style. You don't have to edit it. It'll just do it very quickly for you, split it, all that kind of stuff. You can easily do that. So next, Rina, you want to talk about?
Yes, let me stop you sharing. And now let me share my screen. Now comes the fun stuff. Dimensions are really a big bad wolf for all of us, right? They need to be done correctly so that our construction document can communicate correctly. So let's see how it is that we can make the big bad wolf drown. Some dimension tricks that I learned on the way. You can actually add a formula to dimensions. Let's take a look at this. Edit the dimension with a value that begins with an equals to sign. There we go. I've got the equals to sign. I'm typing in my numbers. I've got 31 divided by 3.5. And now this will control the dimension of the elements above. That allows me precision and it allows control. In addition, some more helpful tips, because Revit is kind of like a really big and very expensive calculator. If you want to convert units from, let's say, from metric to imperial, all you need to do is type in the millimeters or the IN for inches symbol, and Revit will do the conversion for you. Or even if you're moving elements, go ahead, edit the temporary dimension that you see with an equals to sign. You can add in a formula. So good for achieving precision.
Yeah. Hey, Rina, one more thing about that. This works in any number-based field. So with the CFMs and stuff like that, you can just add values to it.
You can be so
Sometimes
precise.
I have a hard time remembering, like, 1 and 3 and 7/8, something like that. If I need to add it, I'll just use that number. But for other any number-based, it works. Equal to sign works. Great.
All right. All right. So now, in addition, remember global parameters? Yeah, those are very much my favorite thing, because you know what you can do? You can select the dimension and you can create and assign global parameters. So now I'm assigning an overall global parameter to this dimension, and the other one, I'm going to give that a calculated parameter. And that calculated parameter is going to be driven by a formula. So when I go into manage and global parameters, watch what happens. I can edit the value to be whatever I want it to be, or I can add in a formula. And yeah, now I've controlled all of those dimensions. Let me add the formula. And there's our formula. It's going to be overall and minus 12.5. Let's see what this does. The overall dimension is 25 right now. And this controlled the dimension that I wanted in the way that I wanted pretty nicely. So, about global parameters, you can use global parameters to manually control multiples of anything at all. All you need is a shared parameter, the same shared parameter in the different categories of objects. And the global parameter will talk to them and do whatever it is that you want it to do. Wow, there's so much of customization we can do. You can customize spot elevation, spot coordinates, spot slopes. Let's take a look at some general steps. You need to duplicate and rename, first of all, to create the new type. You can then edit the elevation and coordinate base, and that can be with respect to the project base point or the survey point. It could be relative for all you know. You can set up the leader, the line weight, the color, the arrowhead that is associated with this. You can set up the symbol, and this is a great opportunity for customization because you can have custom symbol families that can be associated with the symbol that you're creating, and you can click on the drop down to select the symbol family to assign it correctly. And of course, we all know about setting up text. We all know about setting up primary and alternate units. Another helpful tip is you can also set up north, south, and east, west indicators in your custom spot coordinates type. Just give it some more teeth.
Hey, yeah, Rina. Here's an example of that. I have been doing a lot of geocoordinates at
Wow.
Gannett Fleming. I mean, all our files have to be geocoordinated, and I thought that they got rid of US feet, survey feet in 2022 from NIST at least, but it still exists. Revit 2023 will automatically detect it from the CAD file. If the ins unit of that CAD file is set to 21, I'll have that in the later. But since my DWG file is there, notice that I have the coordinates listed on the left side from the CAD file, and then I have a spot coordinate that I created, which shows me both the numbers, because we always had that issue where, oh, my numbers show differently from the file in CAD and then the Revit. So what I had to do was basically the primary unit is US survey feet, and then I made my alternate units as the international feet, that what we are using in Revit inside. So it becomes a great tool to kind of make sure that things are working correctly and coordinate in geocoordinates.
That's perfectly awesome, Nauman. Always learn something new from you. Now let's advance the slide. So I'm going to go on to start talking about some nice crispy, crunchy tags to add to my soup. Let's talk about the enhanced behavior of multi-leader tags in Revit 2025. Up to 2024, you could see an options bar with capabilities of controlling the behavior of the tags. All right, what about Revit 2025? Firstly, a lot of the stuff from the options bar will show up in the properties palette. Secondly, a lot of those options also reappear in the ribbon. That makes it so much easier to find what you need to, the tools that help you to do what you need to do. And you know what? This slide deck has been enduring changes up till maybe 30 minutes ago. Last night, I learned something new when I had a tip about creating an editable tag with a count value, but that count was instance-based. And Nauman goes, don't you know Revit can count now? Seriously? That's because Revit now has, with effect from Revit 2023, Revit now has the multi-leader tag host count parameter. So now watch what this does. I have got all of these elements sitting in there. And when I click to select, I can tag a variety of objects, and you know what? The value is still there. In addition, I can merge the leaders, make them all nice and tidy. I can also hide leaders. I can hide all of them, or I can select and hide leaders. So this is a great tool, and how it is that we're going to do so. In a bit, we will see the family edits that were performed to do so. So here we are, we're in the family, there is our tag, and it's a multi-category tag. When I edit the label, take a look at what happens. Again, I have got a multi-line label happening. I've got multiple parameters. They are separated by a break. And I've added in a prefix just so that I don't have to type for the multiplier. And this now gives me what I need. Now, I never use the tag tool correctly. I always drag the tags in from the project browser. And when I go in and I add more hosts, I now see that my tag is doing what it was supposed to do. Some more superpowers of tags. This was something that last year, when Nauman and I presented the latest Superb Guide, one of the audience members came up and said, don't you know, now filled regions can be tagged to show the area. Really? So I turned to my other old friend. I've got lots of friends, by the way, Alfredo Medina. And I saw his fix on creating a filled region tag that actually records the area. The trick remains the same. You are going to take the generic annotation tag and you are going to switch it over to a category that supports areas, that is floors. Once you've done that, copy and paste your labels and your line work over, just do a Control X, switch back to generic annotation, paste the information stays still there. And I mean, I just love how sweetly that tag flexes along with our filled region. What happens what's going on in the background when our room tags do not show? First of all, check the view range for the height of the cut plane. If the room is lower, if the cut plane does not cut through the room, you cannot tag it. Check the limit offset as well. You want to make sure that it is associated to the correct level. Now, what if your room needs to be above the cut plane, then associate it to a different level or create a planned region? Another helpful tip, you've got the tag all feature. You can use that to tag all elements in your model as well as from linked files with a selected tag family. If you've got multiple tags associated to a particular category, you can pick and choose the tags that you want. How do you rotate a tag? First of all, you identify the tag category. There are two parameters that you need to look at, the rotate with component or rotate text with component. Check if the tag can be rotated manually in the project. You would see the controls in the properties palette. Area, room, and space tags can normally be rotated. There are some categories where the tags always remain horizontal. And here is a possibly helpful hack. The demolished rooms, everybody's biggest headache, right? You can overlay a filtered and tagged existing plan with the demolition plan on the sheet. That takes a lot of doing. You need to really know what you're doing. Or you can go back, do the switch categories hack that we just talked about in tags, create a dumb tag, type that in. I don't know which one of those is more pathetic.
Hey, Rina, at least, this tip is now part of the official help document.
I can't believe it.
By the way,
I can't believe it. There has to be a better way than this.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So now, are you annoyed by a multi-line tag? You've got 4 or 5 lines, and the leader does not sit at the top left-hand corner like you want it to. This is what you end up with. What a mess! You really don't want to deal with that. But you know what? You have to deal with it by editing the family. So first of all, you want to make sure that the horizontal and vertical alignment of the tag label is set correctly. And then you want to fool Revit into believing that the intersection of the reference planes is exactly where you want to start the tag leader from, as opposed to the center of the extents of the tag. That's what Revit looks for. Revit looks for the center of the extents of the tag text. I've got an invisible line. The middle of the invisible line is the position, the desired position of the tag leader. But you know what? It's too much work to grab the midpoint of a line and put it in the right place. What I do is I just draw a line for the desired extent from the origin, and then I mirror it over. Quick and easy, and this does what I want it to do. For multi-category tags, if you use shared parameters, you are giving massive, massive superpowers to your multi-category tags. And you can then tag a single parameter value from multiple categories of the tags. And you know what? If you have multiple tags loaded for the same category, you can set one to be the default. In Revit versions up to 2024.2, that tool was hidden very, very nicely. Now it's up there right in your face on the ribbon where you can click on it and you can go ahead and set the desired tag as a default in your project. And now, Nauman, this is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you give me the control, please, again?
How do we do that?
Again, view options. So don't stop the presentation after I'm done. Okay.
There we go.
So let's make Revit do some stuff with the. I know this is old stuff, but I wanted to make sure a lot of people don't know, but
it's fun stuff.
You can have images inside a schedule. You just whether it's going to be a type based or instance based. It can be driven by a shared parameter or from a family, and it makes it so much easier to work with. And on our schedule looks a little bit more prettier than that. The other ones, this is my favorite when 2022 added shared parameters in key schedules.
That
So
was
the key
my
is
blessing.
well, the key is sorry about that. The pun was not intended actually. Usually my puns are always intended. But in any case, I have a key schedules with these values associated with it for the occupancy allowances. Then I do calculate the occupant load before we had to do a manual entry for it to show up on the tag and everything. Now you don't have to do that because when it can calculate it in the schedule, same exact calculation goes inside your tag, and your tag will show the values very easily. So same formula on both sides. You can, when you edit the label, you can create this under FX where you can change the, add these formulas and whoop-de-doo. Next up, let's see, combined parameters. Yes, combined parameters, they are great. I mean, you can combine them with, you know, as a text. You can separators and stuff like, you know, people have all that like, oh, I need a door with that X by X size, or a window, I need to show it by X by X. And
then they, and you know what? They go ahead and they use text parameters for that. What a pain.
Yeah, so anyways, you can now generate it automatically from the system here. So that's great. You can combine it, calculated parameters, unfortunately.
Tested, tried, does it work?
Doesn't work, yeah. And you can use these parameters for anything. I mean, like this column just as calculated as well. So, but let's see what we can do solving our legends.
Legends.
Yeah, this has been my old favorite, but yes, PyRevit can copy legends over to multiple documents and stuff, but I personally prefer by just copy clipboarding a sheet with all the legends on, with the legends on it that I want to take it to another file. So in Revit, you can right click in Project Browser, but legends won't copy to clipboard.
No, they don't.
I don't know why.
That's where PyRevit comes in.
It's still like in 2025, you can't do that. Now,
nope.
When it comes to, well, just put it on a sheet. And you can copy clipboard the sheet and then paste it into the other file, and your legends go in, voila, you know.
Or use PyRevit.
Yeah, but nice thing, PyRevit can convert a drafting to legend and legend to drafting rather than you creating a new view, pasting, copying, all that. It'll just do that for you. This is new in PyRevit, and there is an extension out there that will do it before, and they give credit to that extension. But PyRevit added in one of the latest, which is called Legend Views. It's great. So what we can do is select that legend element, and you have only front, back, left, right. That's the issue on that. Yeah. And then let's see. You can switch it basically in PyRevit. Go and look at yeah.
Now, just a note, the chair that is facing us backwards, that will need to be rotated in the family because the legends only see what it is that there is in the default view of the family. So you cannot rotate a legend component.
Yeah, thanks for asking the questions. Yes, you can ask those questions. We'll let you know where the handouts are later as well.
There is a handout.
Yeah, so Rina, here's your, don't stop presenting, please.
How do I, okay, no, how do I get?
Don't stop presenting, just click on your PowerPoint presentation, please.
Here we go. Now I've clicked. Have you given me control?
Yes, you have your own computer, so you can control it as much as you want.
Awesome. All right. So now let's go into views. This is another ingredient in our soup. We have a new filter category in Revit 2025. You can filter view references. Now, and here is what Nauman and I were talking about yesterday. What is the point of this? Why is this valuable? Well, supposing that you are preparing documents for a multi-phase project. In that case, you can have view references from different phases on the same view, and then you can generate different sheets from using duplicates of that view, and with the view references that are not relevant to that phase filtered out. I know that's a mouthful, but that was the only utility we could see. I'm sure that you could find something a lot more useful in that tool. My pet peeve, standard details. This screenshot is just when I started at my new job last month. And I was just appalled to see so many DWG imports. Now, there are two reasons for that. One is maybe in the absence of detail components, DWGs were used to create this detail, or when the original CAD detail was imported into the drafting view, it was not fully exploded. It was only given a partial explode. So those could be two reasons. Please avoid that. Just use detail components. Refer to Brian Mackey. He is the guru of smart detail components and how to give them intelligence and make them taggable and all that fun stuff. Just refer to him. And hey, you know what? Revit also has a sense of humor. Sometimes when you have got drawing imports in your model, Revit might just say, if this is just sad. Nice to know that Revit has a sense of humor, right? Let's talk about helpful apps. Oh, this is such fun. I just love getting into the PyRevit extensions and exploring whatever we have. EF Tools, my good friend Eric Fritz, he came up with this extension, and almost every morning I can see something new from him on LinkedIn. So everybody has a rename tool, right? Imaginative Utilities does. EF Tools does too, where it addresses views and sheets, room names, materials. We have a renumber utility as well, which can renumber elements from different categories. Text transform is easily my favorite. I think it has a lot of potential because you can switch case, you can capitalize, you can reverse, you can swap case, doing fun stuff like that, especially when you come into a situation where you've got notes that are in lowercase. My pet peeve. I do not like that at all. The DWG tools, oh my God, can you imagine you can save the CAD file out of your Revit file? Seriously? You can also open or reload the CAD file while you are in your Revit model. That is totally, totally awesome. I mean, hats off. Nautica tab, another free add-in, which is making a lot of waves. And if you look at it, it comes with a certain number of free tools. So the purple tools are free. And the blue tools that I'm scrolling through, those are the ones that need to be purchased. When it comes in, Nautica tab comes in with a bunch of blank toolbar buttons, and you need to click on them to be able to set up a whole new button. So you can set up the new button and script. You can pick out the tool that you want, assign it to the button. I've got renamer and number again over here, and these give us options to rename and renumber elements. We've got different tools, but they're trying to accomplish the same thing. Die roots and die stem. Let's talk about die roots 1. SheetLink will easily synchronize model data back and forth between Revit and Excel spreadsheets. It's either that or you use Ideate Sticky. TableGen will allow you to import an existing Excel spreadsheet directly to Revit. What about die stem? Die stem will allow you to delete specific revision clouds. And the CAD layers, if you have got a linked CAD layers will give you a dialog box that tells you which layers exist in the linked CAD. All right, that was a lot of information. And you know what, Nauman? We haven't gone over time. Thank you to the Augie team and all our team members, past, present, future, if born, unborn. We've got our developers, thought leaders, fellow expert elites, friends, colleagues, Ehsan, Jean-Marc, Eric, and the PyRevit team, Jose and the Die Roots team, Haim and the Nautica team. We've already acknowledged Philip. We've already acknowledged Alfredo. And now with that, questions, concerns, claims, most importantly, the compliments. Maybe the compliments should have been at the top of the list, right?
Come on.
Yeah, so if anybody does have any questions, please put them in the Q&A and we'll make sure that Rina and Nauman get a chance to answer those. And will you guys be able to join us in the community lounge over the lunch break?
That's possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, we'll get that link up again. Sorry, Nauman, go on.
Oh, no, I apologize. I thought you were done.
Nope.
Okay, so they were asking about where to get the handouts and stuff. So just wondering if you can let people know where they can download it more so and stuff.
Yeah, so once everything is completed, it'll be in a few weeks. We'll have everything available for viewing and downloading, and they'll be able to access all of that information. We've just got to break everything up and make sure that, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So, but yes, all the information is going to be available. You will need an Augie membership to access them. Basic membership is free. So make sure that you have that done before we release everything, because then you will get an email with the links and everything for it as well.
Okay.
And Rina, I'm going to let Jose know that you called him out in this meeting next time I talk to him. So I'm sure he'll love that. Yeah.
Oh, these guys, they've come up with such awesome stuff.
I know.
I learn from them every day.
Yes.
You never stop learning, and I never stop learning from these guys.
No, I so many names on here that have like impacted me as well. So I'm not seeing any questions yet. Any other tips or tricks you guys can share with us? You both are extensive Revit users, and I mean, I've seen many of your tutorials and read a lot of your stuff. So I know this is only like scratching the surface of the knowledge you guys have. Anything else you guys want to share with us?
We had to cut down so many slides.
Till last night, there were 70 slides. And there was a battle over each one. This is important. We can't let go of this.
Yeah, no, this was a great presentation. And, and being experienced user, we all have bad habits. And I feel that there's you gave me a few tips and tricks to kind of reduce some of those limitations. And yeah, that's what it's all about, learning from each other. So wonderful.
And especially when you've got a tool like Revit, you have to get the most bang for your buck out of it.
Yes.
And in addition, there are so many other add-ins. Environment is another one that has completely blown my mind. And I'm busy trying to talk leadership at Avonmarsh into looking into environment. So that should be the subject of another interesting.
Is that environment with an E, or did they go I for some reason? Some people like the.
No, I think it's an E.
Okay, I'll look. You know what? I'll connect with you, and you can. Maybe we can share that with our members later.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are huge PyRevit fans as well, and you will always hear Rina preach about it. It's probably how we connected, and I love it too. It's changed the game. That one little tool. It's not a little tool. It's such an extensive toolbar options.
It's just grown. It's just grown with time.
Yeah.
I mean, how these guys have been able to, how they come up with stuff like this beats me.
Yeah, and my introduction to it was I was the person who created all the hatch patterns and materials and seamless textures and stuff like that. And they needed an easier way to create 2D hatch patterns. It's very difficult to go from AutoCAD to Revit. You really need to go from Revit to AutoCAD.
And then you've got all of those paid plugins, Hatch Kit and stuff like that. I mean, I hate to name names, but that was very user and friendly for me.
Oh yeah, I absolutely adored it. Nice. I love when you can share this type of information. Thank you. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or
these are the dead slides.
Oh, these are.
You can see how much there was.
That's actually quite extensive. There's quite a few of these, so we're all getting.
Hey, Nauman, do you want to talk about sheet collections really quick?
Yeah,
we have 15 minutes, guys. So yeah, go ahead.
I get this question why can't Revit have duplicate sheet numbers? I said, would you have duplicate sheet numbers in your set? It's well, we sometimes
there are times when you need it.
Different times and we want it different. I was like,
there are times when you do need duplicate numbers.
You know how they used to do it with non-breaking spaces.
Oh, I hated that. I really hated that. So finally, the team would go ahead and they would just split up the model into different projects just to get beyond the whole duplicate sheet number thing.
Yeah.
It was a pain.
Yeah. So somebody did ask me, hey, can PyRevit create legend views for in-place modeling elements? I don't think so. It relies on the legend
convert it into a family.
So
convert the in-place model into a family, and then you can legend it all you want.
Yeah. So what she's saying is we can convert it into a legend, into a loadable family. There are tips and tricks ones
Very
in our
adorable.
last year's presentation, so that can guide you for the superb guide to easy Revit strikes again. There has some steps how to do that, and it's very easy. It's not a rocket science to convert that. But anyways, here, let me just finish on that. The nice thing about this with sheet collections is that you can assign it to different collections each, and then you can sort your sheets based on collection. So you cannot have duplicate sheet numbers within a collection, but across collection, you can have them. So, which is great. Whoever wants to use it and satisfy the project project architect or project engineer or project lead who wants to have duplicate sheet numbers. Now they can all they want. And it also, this sheet collection can also help us really, the grouping itself and whatnot can help us kind of create a little bit better set. You can also create sheet collection. Let's say you can have the general sheets like G sheets and A sheets. After, no need for creating a sheet sort. You can just use the sheet collection sort method as well. So that's a great tool to that. Yeah, I mean, like there are some other ones that we. So any questions, please do ask. There are some questions. Oh. Have Autodesk fixed the limitation of multi-user keynote editing? Oh,
not that I know.
Revit does have some tools built into it that will lock your file on BIM 360. It does a very decent job. And if you use the built-in Revit editor, it will try to lock the file when somebody is editing it. So that's great to have that. Revit is not a Autodesk product. Revit is a open source Revit plugin or add-in that
it's an executable that you download from GitHub.
Yep. Yeah, we can put that in the and answers here, a link to it. Yeah.
I think I just did. And just a secret between you and me, you don't need administrative privileges to install that. So yeah, that's how you can get around IT restrictions on downloading.
That is a really good thing to bring up, Rina. Thank you, actually, because we all experience that, right? And you can't just download everything you want. So no, thank you for bringing that up.
And of course, Revit is safe, and so far I haven't heard of any viruses or anything accompanying the executable on its download. So.
Yeah, so the Keynote Plus, yes, I have been working with Steve for Keynote Manager. Somebody mentioned by Revolution Design. There are some limitations. We had a project back in 2015, and I had a need for a Keynote file that we were working with across the different offices and different consultants on the same file, and we were running into a problem, and then my good friend came back and he said, hey, I'm creating an online service. So we beta tested it for him. I've been working with him since 2009 or 8 when he created the tool for free when he was working as a civil engineer. Yeah, but the Revit Keynote tool is great too also. Yeah, it does create a custom file and locks it, but there could be other tools that you can use as well. But Keynote Manager was my favorite, yes. I have a coworker who wants. Okay, I have a coworker who wants to list text. How? Oh, somebody answered it. Oh.
Yeah. I just looked at that, and what I suggested was combining the parameters. So if you have two parameters, you hide them, and you have the combined parameters show up in your schedule. Now, if there are two values, if both the parameters show two values, then the combined parameter will show the two. You just need to have a separator. Maybe you need a separator. But if one of the parameters is blank, then only the existing parameter will show up. So I think that would pretty much solve the problem. You could show both or either or.
Yeah, you can do a calculated field too for that, and that will take, hopefully, maybe we'll take care of it. Let's see what else we cut off.
I'm looking at the old version. And
yeah, I'm just kind of going through the old version just in case.
well, this is just a basic thing that you need to remember, that whatever you see on the sheet, on the legend sheet rather, is whatever it is that is the family default view. So if you want the tag to look correct on the legend, make sure that the default view of the family is absolutely the way you want to see it. Otherwise, you're going to get red marked. I've seen legends getting red marked and had to jump back and edit the family.
Yep.
Nauman,
I don't know. Do you hear music in the back end?
Yes, I do. No, I don't.
I hear it now. You got the Animal Cracker song?
We had a issue with copyright, okay? So this the Animal Crackers from Shirley Temple is copyrighted, but
yes,
what I did was I opened up udio.com, and they have a AI generator for music. You can tell what type of music you want and the lyrics and stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I just had a little fun with it. So at least we can get around that copyright issue. Hopefully, I know the lyrics are the same, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we've been playing with AI throughout this because all the cool soup images were generated by MS Copilot, and I had a lot of fun doing that.
I bet we did. So yeah. Oh, grids and level. Grids and level. I think one thing about grids and level I want to tell people is it is a 3D object. It is a planar 3D object that has height, width, and depth associated with it. It is a great tool to have if you know how you're doing it and working with it, because you can create multiple grids on a tall building, and then some of those grids only apply at this level or even the level. So the key is that if the grid or level intersects with a view range, which is the floor plan view range, or in terms of levels would be the section cut range or elevation range, they will show up in that view. If they don't intersect, then they will not show. So try to use that methodology and make sure that you have some understanding of how these work. A lot of people do, but I have seen people that don't understand what the 2D versus 3D marker for a grid and a level is. And it also is, for me, it's a great tool to manage without hiding anything, creating any rules or filters or anything to hide levels and grids. You can easily do that with just the extent of how the levels and grids are set. So oh, this one was also another one.
This is an old is gold kind of a thing. So, you know, if you want to create a line style that looks like what AutoCAD can do, create a line-based family, nest in generic annotation families, or place labels, place in text, whatever it is that you need, a symbol, and just have fun.
Actually, this is a great idea for you guys to show. I'm kind of sad you didn't include this, and Nauman, you can have it in a second. But I did this once for somebody who thought that I was magical.
Well, what I do is I embed it inside a casework family and stuff. So in the plan view, they wanted to just see like a line with text in it, like what number it is. However, in elevation, it has the full 3D and whatnot. So this was a way to kind of embed it inside a line-based family for casework, a generic model, and then you can have this show up in the plan view, which is the great thing. I think, Samuel, you were asking, does Revit operate within Revit, or is it a separate software? No, it does operate within Revit, and it can operate outside of Revit, where you can do with the command line batch actions with Revit as well on multiple Revit files. So you have tips in relocating projects, shared coordinates, and project origin. Oh my God, that's a whole 2-level session class. And finally, I mean, I was glad I joined Gannett Fleming, where they want everything geo-coordinated, and it opened up a whole lot of better understanding of shared coordinates and geo-coordinates and whatnot. So definitely I'll I might post an article on it, and hopefully you might be able to see something on that.
You might even be able to present it all at next AU.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully. Thank you, Butch. Appreciate your question. Sorry, I can't answer it like the last 4 minutes left, but we're open. You can keep typing questions.
Exactly.
And I can bring these over to the lounge for you guys as well, because I'll have access to that information. So thank you guys again. This was an amazing presentation. For an experienced Revit user, we're always looking for ways to streamline our processes and work more efficiently. And I really feel like I've come away with a few new tricks and a few less bad habits, hopefully. Yeah.
Never stop learning, right?
That is the entire point of this, exactly. So, and thank you guys for participating in our very first AuggieCon 24, and we hope that you come back and join us next year. Up next, is there any closing remarks you guys have, or can I pass this on?
It's just that, never stop thinking outside the box. It's amazing how many unconventional solutions you can possibly come up with using the same tool. When I say that you can take a furniture family and convert it into a column family just so that you are able to generate the net area of a room, that should show you how out of the box you can be with working with Revit.